every single time. There we go. The audio's loud and clear. Hey, everyone. Why am I so freaking orange? That doesn't seem right. Whoa, now. Why am I so orange? That is... I don't like that, but we're going to deal with it, at least for the time being. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. We're keeping it real goes right, except when I have these damn color defaults set wrong, but is what it is. AEW Dynamite just wrapped up, and it was one of the more memorable, as I should say, Dynamites there's been in a little while. Why, again, are you so blurry, son? That is bad. I should have figured this out before I went live. Ha ha ha. Joke's on me, it looks like. Anyway, whatever. We'll definitely have that figured out by the next stream, but hopefully y'all are doing well. Hopefully everyone's doing fine. A lot happened tonight on Dynamite, and we're going to talk about it. Obviously, as you can tell by the title, Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite is now in full effect. We also saw the return of Adam Cole, baby. He was wrestling Daniel Garcia today. Also, we saw the implosion, the absolute implosion of Don Callis' forehead. There's a PW Insider report that I'm going to talk about later on in the stream about that and why that actually might be real. As one second, we're going to turn this off and try to see if I can better this situation for all of us, for all parties involved. You can barely hear me, I'm sure, but maybe that did something, maybe it didn't. Let's find out. Didn't do too much, but it's kind of better, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, I am not sure what's wrong. The lighting's off. Is what it is. We've still got a lot to talk about in Dynamite. Guys, you know the deal. You guys have a question, comment, concern, you all know what to do. Put it in the chat. If you want to guarantee your question or comment gets read out on the air, leave a super chat. Super chats are a great way to engage with me, the show, the channel, and support us as well. So be sure to do that if you can. Ramit in the chat says, next month, FTR join WWE because next week's career versus title. Well, I will talk about that because there is a chance. Actually, let's talk about that right now. So, the Gun Club cut or the Guns, I should say. The Guns cut a promo or a vignette, whatever you want to call it, about the situation. One second, let me... Live TV or YouTube, whatever the hell you want to call it. Live. We're live, people. Stuff like this happens. And bada bing, bada boom. Hopefully that fixes a little something. We're gonna see if that did fix something. Kinda, maybe, not really. Doesn't really matter. Don't think don't think I made too much of a difference. I'll try. I'll workshop some stuff afterwards. All right, that's as much as I'm gonna try live on the air. I'm sorry about that, but. So much to talk about. So the Gun Clubs, the Gun Club, the Guns, whatever you want to call them. The Guns did a thing. They had a vignette. They had a backstage promo where they discussed, the career versus title match next week. So next week, FTR are putting their AEW careers on the line. If they lose, they are done with AEW. They are no longer welcomed in the company. If they win, they obviously get the titles. And it's a big deal. It's a massive deal, right? Because one of the things that has been lurking on the internet, one of the biggest rumors that's been around on the internet is, what is the status of FTR? Are they going to stay with AEW? Are they possibly going back to WWE? There was this weird third option where they would just wrestle indies for a year and then maybe decide on where they wanted to end up full-time. One thing we do know is that decision, seemingly, has already been decided. As they've already come to a decision on what they're going to do, them being FTR. And we'll find out next week. The rest of us, I should say, we'll find out next week because that's a big stipulation to have. And the way I see it, I think it's honestly just kind of working the fans a little bit. They're trying to get the fans going a little bit, being like, hey, man, this might be the last time you ever see FTR in an AEW ring. So enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy them while you got them. And when a company does that, like traditionally, it really makes me think that they're trying to work you. That's what I believe. I think if a company says, "Oh, it's gonna be a career versus whatever," odds are the person whose career is on the line, they're not going to win. Especially this situation, it just seems a little bit too on the nose for me. I don't think the Guns are going to lose. I think they're actually going to win FTR are going to lose. I think they're going to win and become the new AEW Tag Champions. And that's probably going to come with an announcement that they have signed a new deal with AEW. Conjecture and speculation. I don't do news, people. I do not do news. I am a rumor and speculation machine, and I don't pretend to be anything else. But yeah, I mean, it was a good promo though by the Guns. I think that the Guns have something. I know they get a lot of crap from people online, but they do have something that makes them, I think, appealing to fans, that makes them appealing to the public at large. So I'm glad that they're doing their thing. I'm glad that the Guns are getting some time, because they're a good team too. Like, I know it's not, you know, the most wrestling fan thing to say, but I actually like the Guns. I actually think that their characters work for television. So that's my view on that. Let's get to the big story of the day. Bryan Danielson made his return to AEW, being gone for weeks. He was obviously a part of that Revolution Iron Man match with the one, the only, the current reigning, defending, undisputed AEW World Champion, MJF. We haven't seen him much since then. He said he was going to take time off. Over the past number of weeks, the Blackpool Combat Club had made it known that they are no friends of the Elite. There's allegations that they were the ones who attacked them backstage, or attacked the Young Bucks, I should say, backstage last week, sent them to the hospital. They were the ones who attacked Kenny Omega last week, and they very much so were the ones who also attacked Hangman Adam Page and poor Don Callis. So Hangman Adam Page is cutting this promo backstage, this interview backstage. Don Callis comes up and says, "Hey, I want to let bygones be bygones," asks to shake his hand. As Hangman Page goes to shake his hand, all three members of the Blackpool Combat Club, fresh off their win against Dalton Castle and the boys, start attacking Page. And you just see Don Callis sitting back there going, "Whoa, hey, I'm not a part of this, right?" And then he extends his hand out to Jon Moxley, being like, "Hey, man, put her there." And Jon Moxley batters him. And is like, I think that there is going to be like there's a good chance that Don Callis is the one kind of behind all of this, and he's behind, you know, going after the Elite and maybe kind of trying to turn Kenny against Hangman Page. But tonight was any indication that is not the case, because not only did Don Callis get beat down by the Blackpool Combat Club, the dude got busted open. And according to PW Insider, again, take this with a fat grain of salt, according to PW Insider, Don Callis was in fact injured in this exchange. So if that is the case, obviously, hopefully Don Callis, who again is not a professional wrestler, he is a backstage or wrestling personality. Hopefully everything's all right with him. We send our best wishes to him. I'm just going to keep finicking around with this until I figure it out. That's as good as it's going to get, whatever. But yeah, so hopefully he's doing well. I thought it was cool the way that the Blackpool Combat Club, they beat down someone in the ring. Like, here's the thing I like about AEW right now overall, and why I think this is some of the best television they've ever done. This brings me back to peak AEW, and I'm talking about pre-pandemic, early 2020 AEW, when I believe they were at their peak. Because you had long-running story arcs throughout the entire show that were playing out. You had vignettes. There were stories being told. And to me, as a wrestling fan, that's one of the most important things. You know, obviously, I love kick-ass wrestling. And AEW as a wrestling show is top-notch. You're not going to get much better than AEW. Honestly, you're not going to get much better. For a weekly national wrestling show, you're not going to get better. But for as far as the storylines go and all that stuff, they were lacking in that department. And a lot of that had to do with they were trying to integrate Ring of Honor. They were trying to bring in people from New Japan, and some of that stuff got lost. But recently, AEW has been able, and Tony Khan, this is a credit to Tony Khan, they've been able to have these stories play out through the entire night. So you don't just see, we check Blackpool Combat Club off the list. Now we're going to check off, the Jade promo. Now we're going to check off the Orange Cassidy. Got to give the people what they want. No. We saw the Blackpool Combat Club in 3 separate segments. And if you want to, if you really want to show people, hey, we have this big story that's going to kind of encapsulate the company and be the big story for our company. That's how you do it. You have it play out throughout the night so that people keep wanting more. So people are reminded, okay, this is a thing that's going to play out through the entire night, so I need to watch the entire show. That's how you book a successful wrestling show, and a good one. And I think AEW and Tony Khan have been doing such a great job recently of that. I love this Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club stuff. As I said earlier, we saw the return of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. So Kenny does his match with Jeff Cobb. Really good match with Jeff Cobb. Kenny Omega hit one of the hardest V-triggers I've ever seen. Just boom, blasted Cobb in the back of the head. And then he wins the match with a one-winged angel. And we see the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Jon Moxley make their way and surround Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's stuck there, nowhere to go, but he's ready to fight. And then we hear the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson's music come out. He comes out and he says, "What are you guys doing?" He's talking to the Blackpool Combat Club. "What are you guys doing? No, this isn't how we do this. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this." He helps Kenny Omega up. Kenny starts to swing at Claudio Castagnoli, and Bryan's waiting in one corner, hits him with a Psycho knee, and he just wrenches back a crossface. The label lock, and the entire time the Blackpool Combat Club is wailing on Kenny Omega while he's in the label lock. And Bryan Danielson says, "You're what's wrong with professional wrestling." So Bryan Danielson has aligned himself with his Blackpool Combat Club brethren, the BCC, or as Adam Page said earlier on tonight in the promo, the BBC. Heyo, I own the BBC. As the BBC are aligned. And here's the thing. At this point, it's a matter of math, right? There's 4 members of the Blackpool Combat Club. And then on the other side, you got the Young Bucks, Kenny, and Hangman. Eventually, we're getting that 8-man tag team match. And I don't care how you do it. I don't care whether it's a straight-up 8-man match, or Texas Tornado, hardcore match, Anarchy in the Arena. Bring that back for Vegas. I will be there. Do whatever you got to do, but make this match happen. Because the story that they've been telling, it's got so many parts, right? Because you not only have, the Blackpool Combat Club wanting to prove themselves to be the most elite group in all of elite wrestling. You not only have that aspect of it, you have a disgruntled former champion in Jon Moxley who was screwed out of his belt. You have Bryan Danielson, who looks over at Kenny Omega and sees the guy who everyone says is the best professional wrestler of all time, which is laughable to a guy like Bryan Danielson. You have, just on the side of the elite, one of the best long-term stories ever told in professional wrestling, that Hangman, and the story between Hangman Page and the Elite. And you have that Kenny Omega Hangman thing playing out. You have the dynamic between the Bucks and Kenny, which has not been explored yet, because to this day, right, in storyline, Kenny has not seen the Hangman Page Kenny Omega match from Full Gear back. He's not watched it back. And eventually, that the Bucks are going to have to explain to Kenny why they didn't help him win his title. Eventually, that's going to happen. There's so much that's going to play out. That's why people are saying, like, oh my God, they're really building this out before the pay-per-view. Like, what are they going to do for the next 8 weeks? I'm like, they're going to tell a story. And that's the best thing about this. We have 8 weeks to explore all these different parts and tell a complicated but really thoughtful story that engages fans and brings new fans in and makes sure that we're along for the ride. That's what professional wrestling is about. Making sure you're along for the ride and making the booking make sense. And there's so many ways they could explore this, and it's going to make sense, and it's going to be awesome. Take all of the storyline elements out of it. All I need to do to sell you on this match is list out the participants. Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page. If you're telling me you don't want to see a match between those 8 people, I don't know what to tell you. Other than maybe stop listening to Jim Cornette's podcast. But hey now. No offense if you do listen to Corny's podcast. But I'm serious. Like, this is, like, there's so much that can be done here, and it's going to be great. And I honestly cannot wait for this match and the story that they're going to tell over the next couple of months. I can't wait for it to play out. On the other hand, you also had the Outcasts making their presence known. Willow Nightingale took on Destination Unknown, the Runaway, Ruby Soho. It was a good match. I love the fire that Willow came out with. I think it's going to be really cool. Like, they have to do something next week in Long Island. Obviously, Willow Nightingale is from Long Island. It would make a lot of sense to have her do something there. But I liked what they did in this match. Obviously, Ruby Soho picked up the victory with massive shenanigans. After the match, though, we saw Riho come out and Jamie Hayter return after a 2-week absence to a thunderous reaction. She was so over, and she's proving to everyone exactly why she's the AEW Women's World Champion. Like, people want to say, like, oh, man, Jamie Hayter's never really cut a good promo. She's never been part of a good storyline. Why is she so over? And my answer to you is, I mean, 1, she's a great wrestler. And 2, she's just got it. Like sometimes it is like that unexplainable, like, it factor, right? Like the thing you can't touch on. She's just got it. And it shows when she's in the ring. It shows, like, she's got that fire. She's got that charisma, like that natural charisma. Not necessarily like the mic skills yet. Like, I mean, she's still good on the mic, but, like, she's not, like, obviously one of the best talkers out there. But she's got that charisma, that fire that, like, you need to have to get over. And she's already over, obviously, but she's a superstar. And I think people are really starting to notice it. And the fans are always starting to react like it. And I'm really glad to see that, because that's what a world champion should be. I'm glad she's the world champion. Riho versus Jamie Hayter next week, though, is going to slap. Can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it. Also, can't wait for you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. What else did we have today? On this show? Oh, yeah. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, after the match, after Jungle Boy Jack Perry's match after Jungle Boy Jack Perry's match with Matt Hardy, we saw Maxwell Jacob Friedman appear, and MJF cut a scathing promo on Jack Perry. Jack Perry came back with some fire, and the two just fought it out. We saw shots of Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara backstage watching. This is leading to the 4 Pillars Fatal 4-Way at Double or Nothing. Like, that's like the end game here. If there was any doubt, let it be gone. We are getting the 4 Pillars Fatal 4-Way at Double or Nothing. And you're going to get to see 4 of the best young professional wrestlers in the game today beat the ever-living crap out of each other for like 30 minutes in what is going to be a great match. We already know it. Like, look at who is involved. It's MJF, Jack Perry, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara. I can't wait for it. Oh, man. All right. And we also had on this show, what else did we have? Oh, we'll talk about Adam Cole in a second, but Orange Cassidy versus The Butcher. Okay, Orange Cassidy, like, I don't care what anyone says. Number one, so glad they changed the name of the belt from the AEW All-Atlantic Championship to the International. That is such a more appropriate name. Because, like literally, Pac is the inaugural champion, right? He becomes the inaugural champion. And the first thing they do is like, oh, and Pac, the AEW All-Atlantic Champion, is going to go wrestle in Japan. I'm like, what? Like, and here's the thing. It's not that he shouldn't go wrestle in Japan, but it's like called the All-Atlantic title, right? Why'd you call it that if you're going to be wrestling? Like, it's not Atlantic. That's the Pacific. Basic geography, Tony Khan. He finally got it down, though. That was my biggest problem, though, with the name. I was just like, this defies geography. Just call it like the global. Well, maybe not the global because that's the TNA thing, but call it something else. Like, International is great name. It fits what the belt is. Orange Cassidy deserves to have gold around his waist, and he is the best fighting champion on professional wrestling TV today. This dude is killing it. He's AEW's workhorse. He's having great matches with literally everybody they put in front of him. And yeah, what more can you say? Well, here's what I can say. I do know, I found out today that Shibata is wrestling at Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. I found that out, and I am like now just in awe. I cannot believe. Here's the thing. Obviously, I've been keeping. I haven't like had a chance to like catch up on Ring of Honor stuff, but man, Wheeler Yuta versus Shibata. Let's go, baby, into my veins. I'm ready. And you know what? I love me some Wheeler Yuta. I love all the stuff that he's been doing. Screw all that. Put the belt on Shibata. Strap him up. Put a rocket ship on him. He is Ring of Honor. Like, let's go. I'm like, here, like, guys. I'm going to be so crystal clear with y'all. When Shibata went down with an injury, like, back in, what was it, like, 2016, 2017, I was like, I was upset because I was like, this guy's just so cool. He can't be injured. It was like, it actually broke my heart a little bit. When he came back and like when he had like that match in Atlantic City against Orange Cassidy with Mike Tyson on the call, I still cannot believe that. I still cannot believe that to this day. I'm just like, Mike Tyson was out here calling spots for Shibata versus Cassidy better than Taz and Tony Schiavone were. Like, that was insane to me. Like he's like, oh my God, yeah, Oshigoroshi. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, he hit him with the orange punch. Wow, that's amazing. Like, I'm just like, what? Mike Tyson knows wrestling? Nuts, but awesome. But yeah, I can't wait. Like, and Shibata, man, like, he's only like, what, 43 or something? That is very young in professional wrestling years, especially right now. So I'm looking forward to it. But Cassidy beat the Butcher. Good match. And yeah, finally, we have Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia. Good match. Cole lowered that boom. Picked up the victory. Real thing to talk about is what happened after the match. And my, oh my, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. The one thing that I think a lot of people didn't want to happen kind of happened. And I knew it was going to happen the second Adam Cole mentioned his name last week. Because I was like, Adam, don't say his name. Don't say his name. He's going to appear if you say his name. And he appeared because Adam Cole said his name. Chris Jericho came out to help his friend, his pupil, Daniel Garcia. And he looked back at Adam Cole, just stared at him with disgust. So for the next 6 months, we're getting Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in a feud that both are going to exchange wins on and no one's going to get him. Like, it's, I love Chris Jericho, and I think he's done a great job of getting, like, did a great job of getting Ricky Starks over, and, he's been doing a great job recently with his feuds. But, Like, if they're going to do this, this better be a quick thing. I don't need this to be like, I don't need them at All Out to do the blow-off match for this. No, I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Like, no. Just do the match at Double or Nothing. Be done with it and move on. Just move on. Nobody wants to see Chris Jericho come up with another gimmick match, being like, "Oh, Adam Cole, you like to lower the boom? Well, you stupid idiot. We're gonna have a Rockstar Rage House match where the only way to win is for you to, like, I don't know, hit me with a guitar." Like, no, we don't need that. Just do one match, be done with it, let Cole win, and then let him go off and do something cool. Like, we don't need 6 months of this feud. But overall, guys, this was a fantastic episode of AEW Dynamite. I thought the storytelling aspects were spot on. I am looking forward to next week. Honestly, like, AEW, like, they were in a spot where, like, they kind of needed to deliver a good match for WrestleMania, or a good show for WrestleMania week, and I think they pulled it off. I really do. But let me know what you guys thought about the show in the comments section, in the chat, wherever. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already done so. We got so much in the works here, guys, for WrestleMania week. Here we go. We got so we're doing the AEW, or we just did the AEW post show. Going to wrap it up in just a little bit. Friday Night SmackDown right afterwards. Come check out the SmackDown post show right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling. And Saturday, Sunday night, WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2, respectively, post shows right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling. It's going to be emotional, as Vinny Jones would say. I can't wait for it. WrestleMania this year is going to be a very interesting show. It's definitely going to be an interesting show. Is it going to be the most stupendous one? No, that happened last year. But it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. And hopefully I'll see y'all there afterwards, whenever. Let me know what your plans are for WrestleMania, though, in the comment section. All that stuff. Until next time, be happy, be healthy. Take care of your loved ones, and keep it real.